Welcome to our project presentation, Affordable Housing for a Sustainable Future. This presentation is brought to you by students of ARC. In collaboration with Group10 University, under the course LMCP1632, this project supports the Unite, the nation's Sustainable Development Goal 11. Sustainable cities and communities. Let us explore one of the most important issues today: access to affordable housing. Did you know home ownership is a basic human right? However, in Malaysia, many people, especially the younger generation, are struggling to buy. Their first home. According to Bank Negara Malaysia, a home is considered affordable if it costs 3 times the median annual income. But the reality is Malaysia's median house price is 4.4 times the median household income, and many affordable housing projects are located far. From city centers where jobs are available, property prices continue to rise, while wage growth remains slow. Challenges: limited land in urban areas, mismatch between supply and demand, complicated loan approval processes, lack of trust in housing pro. Government initiatives. The Malaysian government has introduced many housing schemes, including Perumahan Rakyat One Malaysia. Rumah Selangorku and Home Scheme, but many of these initiatives need better planning and execution to truly benefit the people. Proposed solutions. What can be done? Provide incentives for developers to build affordable homes in strategic locations. Promote rent to own (RTO) schemes to reduce financial burden on buyers and encourage green building for sustainable, long-term living. Affordable housing is more than just about buildings, it is about creating stable families, stronger communities, and a sustainable future. Without affordable homes, there can be no sustainable development. Together, we can build a future where everyone has a place to call home.
Creative journey, it's easy to get lost, but don't worry, you'll lift off. Sometimes you just need a creative pep talk.
Hey, you're listening to the Creative Pep Talk podcast. I'm your host, Andy J. Pizza. Today on the show, we have an extremely special guest, Malika Gharib, author and illustrator of the new graphic memoir, It Won't Always Be Like This, which is about her summers that she spent with her dad in Egypt as a teen. I read this book and was like immediately like, I really want to have when you have a book that just hits you and you wish you could talk to the person who made it. And it's like, this meant something to me. I am, privileged enough to sometimes when that happens, have a podcast where people actually agree to have those conversations. That's what this is. I was so moved and excited about this story that when Malika said that she would be on the show, I was over the moon and through the roof. And this conversation was everything I hoped it would be and more. And it was a complete dream. And speaking of dreams, you may have also heard of Malika's previous graphic memoir, which is called I Was Their American Dream. That was a really popular book as well. Malika is a storyteller like I am, and she works in visual formats like her two graphic memoirs, but she also works as an editor on podcasts at NPR for her day job. So as you can imagine, there was tons of things for us to hash out and talk shop about creative process-wise, in terms of visual storytelling and just a creative practice. I really, really love this conversation, and I love it. And what do you get from the process of doing it, or what do you get from your favorite outlets of these stories? Like, why do you think that is such a through line for you?
I've been thinking a lot about this more critically, and I think that the main mean for me is that the MO to all of my art is to sort of compress like the maximum feeling to the smallest amount of space. I think that's what I liked so much about zines, to be understood in scenes. So there is some sort of sense of wanting validation from the audience that what you created resonates. Yeah. And so it's really nice to hear that you felt that way.
It is so good. I recommend everyone go get it. It's quick and potent. I actually also, as soon as I finished it, gave it to my 14-year-old daughter, who is a voracious reader. She loved it as well. And she felt all kinds of big feelings, about the storylines. And I think you did an incredible job. Could you just tell us briefly, like, what the book is about?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm Filipino-Egyptian American. I was very much I grew up in Los Angeles. My parents got a divorce, and my dad ended up going to Egypt and spending the rest of his life there. And so I had to spend my summers back and forth between my dad and my mom, with my mom in LA and my dad in Egypt. And one summer when I was 9 years old, my dad told me that he was remarrying, and he had married this woman who was like kind of half his age and closer to my age, and that he would be starting a new family and living in Egypt permanently. And I was thinking, like, this is going to change our vibe, Dad. This is like totally going to mess up what we had. We had a great life, and now Hala, my stepmom's come along, and now I have to have a relationship with her, and she doesn't even speak English. And so the story is really about how I was able to forge a relationship with my stepmother and my siblings who were born after that, in that time period, and also just being a teenager and a young person in my early 20s, trying to understand my relationship to the Middle East, trying to understand my relationship to my Americanness. I had a lot of opinions about what it meant to be American, but then being dropped into a space where it was the Middle East, like, how do I carry myself? How do I purport myself? How do I have relationships with other people? And I never even picked up Arabic. So that was difficult. So this story is about trying to fit into a blended family. It's about trying to understand my place in the Middle East. And it's about ultimately the death of our family. I don't want to